When we figure the total amount of wood that we're going to use using hardwoods, like what we use in this class, we use board footage. So we'll have to determine the board feet, and then we figure out the cost per board feet to determine what is the total cost of our project. So board foot is figured like this. Thickness in inches times width in inches times length in inches divided by 144. Or if you do the length in feet, then you divide it by 12. As you notice here. This is one board foot. And here in this example right here, it's 4 foot long, it's 9 inches wide, and it's 2 inches thick, this board. Doing the formula equals to 7 board feet, or I apologize, 6 board feet. The cost in this particular example is $7 a board foot, so this particular board would cost $42. All right, that's how we figure board feet, and we do use this to determine the cost of our projects. This is another picture that shows board feet on different sizes boards. Just the thickness of the board makes a difference. Okay. Now you will need to be able to figure out board feet, but make it a little easier for you. We have a board feet calculator, and this board feet calculator makes it pretty simple. Okay. You just put the number of pieces that you're going to put in right there. If we just have one piece, let's say we're just trying to figure out the cost of one piece of wood. The thickness. Now we want all of these to be in inches, so let's say it's 1 inch thick. And most of the wood that we use in this class is going to start out as 1 inch thick, so that's what you need to go with. Let's say it's a board that's 8 inches wide, and let's say it's 3 feet long. Okay, so 3 feet is 36 inches. And make sure that this is in inches. So this is a total of 2 board feet. Well, let's say the cost of that particular board is $2.50 for board feet. Well, then it would cost you $5 for that particular board. This makes it really simple. And we can clear this out. If we were doing like a shelf, let's say something where we needed 4 boards at, 4 inches thick. 1 inch is our thickness, 4 inches wide, and let's say they were 22 inches long, it's 2.4 board feet. Okay, so it figures it out really quickly, and then we could put the price of whatever I said, $2.50 a board foot. Those 4 boards would cost us $6.11. Okay, so we can do this fairly easily. All we have to have is measurements. So I want you to do that. This is a link that takes you right to that board foot calculator that I had. I want you to figure out the total board footage of this board here, of this project here. Now, we'll figure, when you do these projects, even though this area here are cut off and it's rounded, you started with a regular piece of wood. So we'll figure out the total if it was straight. We won't worry about the rounded, how much was cut off on there. And we got to go total length. Now this one total length is 38 inches. If you see a cross here on these shelves, it's 26.5, if you can see that. We're always going to round up an inch. Okay, so 26.5, we'll round this up to 27 because there's going to be waste on every board. So we're going to go 27 for this shelf. Okay, the width of if you notice this, is 11 inches and 11.25 inches. We're going to round that up to 12. This board here is the length of it right here. If you notice, it's 31 3/8. We'll just round that up to 32. So these are the sides. There's 2 sides. There's 3 shelves, and this is what I call the decorative pieces. So what I want you to do is use that formula, figure out the board foot for the size, and we'll use $3.15 as an example here, and the cost of the 2 sides. Remember, there's 2 sides, so when you do this, you have to have this number of pieces is 2. Okay, and the thickness is 1 inch, and then you just fill in the formula here and figure out the cost. Then you'll do the same thing for the shelves. There's 3 shelves. There's 2 decorative pieces. So then we'll get the total board feet and then the total cost. And I know that's the same here, but we'll just put this down in here as a total cost again. So determine the board footage of this particular project. When we do our own projects, after you draw them out and have all the dimensions, you're going to have to figure out the board footage because we have to determine the cost. So this makes me doing this will ensure that you know what you're doing. When we figure out our cost of our projects, you're going to have to figure out the board footage and the cost, and then we figure out the total cost that way, and that's what you will owe the school. Okay, so work on this worksheet today. There will be probably a practice quiz maybe on something like this in the future.